It's Women's Month, so let's celebrate the incredible women among us. One of them is Dr. Brylyne Chitsunge. She's received the One Africa Award for Innovation in Agriculture and Farming. The awards celebrate African efforts to achieve UN Sustainable Development Goals. Chitsunge is a farmer, a tireless advocate for food security through the empowerment of female farmers. And she joins us now from Pretoria. Very good morning to you. I was reading your biography. I mean, it's it's jaw-dropping how impressive it is, but what I love is what you do when it comes to food security. Tell us about your work and what you are hoping to raise there.
Good morning, Jane. Thank you so much for having me, and happy Women's Month under the circumstances of the COVID, and my deepest condolences for those who have succumbed to the virus.
Thank you for that. Tell us more about, or just tell us about your work when it comes to food security and why you turned to farming in order to make it happen.
Perhaps I would say I felt very hungry and I decided to produce food for myself. Basically, I've been in the UK for a very long time and I've done all sorts of things. And then when I got back to the continent, I realized that the continent was very beautiful, but there was just one thing which was bothering me, and that was poverty. And I say to myself, I think there is a need for someone to do something, and I felt I was the right person to do so that I can become a farmer and speak from a farmer's perspective. And more importantly, the words like malnutrition, stunting, and things like that, that I personally feel should be removed from our dictionaries, because there's no reason for why we should die of hunger or a child should die of poverty on the continent when we've got so much vast land and we've got the human capital. We've got everything that it takes to be food secure on the continent.
And it's a problem, isn't it, on the continent? I mean, often farming is seen as a poor man's game when, in actual fact, it can be highly successful and, as you put it, incredibly important. We need farmers.
Yes, it's a real big problem, and I've always said that poverty is our number one enemy. And now with the COVID-19 in the way as well, coming to partner up with this poverty, which has always been our number one enemy, I think we need to draw lessons, big lessons, and I have been calling upon the heads of state, as I serve as well as the food security ambassador for the continent, that we really need to scale up on agriculture and we need to start farming now. And we've got to adapt smart ways of farming. And what's important is to bring the little ones on board and to actually disperse what's on their brains, because they think that farming is a charity cases and it's for old people and it's not a game that they should get into. But I think it's very important that we now need to scale up so that we adapt smart ways of farming because of all these climatic changes and everything that is happening, and encourage a lot of women. We've got 70% of people on the farmland is actually women. But unfortunately now, with everything that's happening as well with the COVID, I feel that the governments are not doing enough to prepare for the next planting season, because we really need to start putting food in the ground. And I also personally think that if we actually are healthy, all these vitamins we're talking about, the micronutrients, everything, it's in the soil. We've got them. We can plant our own vegetables. We can plant our own food and prepare our bodies for this virus that is really befalling the whole world.
That's an important message, isn't it, that everything is here on the continent. It's just what we need to do in order to make it sustainable for everybody.
Well, I think I've just said, I summed it up that Africans, we are victims of our own success. There are only just two things that are missing. We need to organize ourselves and manage ourselves. If we can do that, then that's it. Let's do data mapping. Let's find what can be grown in certain areas and what we can grow in other parts of the continent, so that at least we can scale up on agriculture. I cannot emphasize the importance of how important farming is, or how important a person called a farmer is. I think we've all realized it now, because we're now scrambling for food, and we're talking about food parcels, food everything. But I'm not hearing the message about let's go and plant the food. That's what we should be hearing. The government should avail seeds to everyone so that by now we should have something coming out of the ground so that people are having adequate food to eat.
Well, thank you very much for the work that you do.